Welcome to Guide to IELTS. This video is about different tips and tricks that you need to have on your tips for IELTS Reading General training. The sample test we are using for this is Test 1 from Cambridge IELTS Book 13. There are 3 sections in IELTS Reading General. Out of these, Section 1 has 2 passages, Section 2 has 2 passages, and Section 3 has 1 long passage. Let's start with Section 1. This is the passage that we have. So what is the first thing that we do? Both in Section 1 and Section 2, do not read the passage. What do we need? We just need to understand what question types are there. We need to glance at the main headings and then start looking for answers.
So the first thing that I'll do is just read the heading. In this case, the best suitcases. I'm assuming the rest of the text would be features of these suitcases. So I'm not going to be reading through any of this now. What I'll do is, I'll now move on to the questions. The question here is, for which suitcase are the following statements true? This falls under the category of matching paragraph information or which paragraph contains the information. That is, we'll read each question and figure out which suitcase is it true for. Next, read the instructions carefully. In this case, the answer has to be the letter A to G. We don't need to write any words. Second very important part of the instruction is that we may use any letter more than once. If we miss out on any of the instructions, we could make major mistakes. For example, in this one, we have 7 questions and 7 suitcases. There is always a probability that one of the letters from A to G could be used more than once, in which case some other letter won't be used at all. An important part of solving your reading is knowing the question types properly. Now, this particular question type, the answers cannot be in order. The very purpose of the question is to figure out where the answer is. The way to solving this question is to identify the keyword or keywords and then start scanning the text of the passage for that word or any other word that would be related to it. Let's start now. The first question is, this suitcase is for those who wish to purchase expensive luggage. The keyword is expensive. Now I'll start scanning the passage for any word that would be related to expensive. It could be mention of price of something. The chances of the word expensive being used in the passage are very slim. But I have words like costly, or it could even be the opposite of expensive. That is, it is not cheap. Now we start scanning the passage. So I won't thoroughly read every word and understand every sentence, but this is when I would kind of skim through everything, just look at the main words. So in this case, I'm looking for adjectives for describing words. In A, I see words like sophisticated, spacious, strong, but nothing about price of the product. But in B, I see the word gold, so I'll start reading it thoroughly. Trimmed in brown leather, with gold details, this bag from the renowned fashion house is a truly indulgent buy. This clearly means it's expensive. I'll still read the rest of it. If you're investing this much, another word that tells me that we're talking about a lot of money, then you'd better be planning an amazing holiday to go with it. If you're unsure of the answer that you have found, you have 2 options. For example, in this case, an indulgent buy means when one spends a lot of money for buying something. In case this is a phrase that you are unaware of, this could be a confusing one. This one could be a little confusing for you. There are words like gold and investing, which still make it clear that we are talking about an expensive product. Just in case, maybe you don't know the meaning of the word indulgent, which is why you are unsure about this, one option you have is that you scan through the rest of the passage, looking through the other options to figure out if they could be the answer. But because we do have words like gold and investing here as well, it seems like the correct answer. If I'm 100% sure, I just write the answer here. However, when I'm doing these tests, if I'm even a little unsure, what I do is that in my question paper, I write this as B question mark. Or I have some other such symbol which tells me that this is an answer I'm a little unsure about. I'll keep it in mind as I'll keep scanning through the passage for other answers. And also, if at the end of the test I have any time, I could come back and recheck it. Anyway, in this case, we have found the answer. So this is where I found my first answer. On to the second one now. This suitcase is the right one for people who like to follow the latest fashion. Latest fashion is my keyword here. Once again, we start scanning the passage. Sophisticated, spacious, strong. So in this case, this one mentions cheerful colors, although nothing about fashion as such. Even this one has a mention of colorful leopard print. So I do stop here and kind of read that sentence to see if there's any mention of the latest fashion being followed. As I go through this one mentions stylish, up-to-date, cool. Certainly sounds fashionable. In the last one, that is G, there is a mention of traveling in style, about the suitcase being beautiful. But as I read through it, it's not about the latest fashion. Latest fashion means being up to date. Clearly, this is the answer. So this is where I found the answer to the second one. The answer here is F. Third, it is easy to choose one of these suitcases to match most clothing. Even though we have just done 2 questions till now, we are a little familiar with the passage. Mind you, we have not read anything or skimmed through anything properly. The moment I read this, I thought of all those colorful suitcases. In any case, the keywords here are match most clothing. I'll straight away jump to the 2 suitcases which have cheerful colors, colorful leopard print, just to see if either of these could be the answer. So I'm going to start reading this one. Simple and affordable, this range offers a great selection of tough cases. They also come in a huge range of cheerful colors that should go with anything you choose to put on. Clearly, this is the answer. And I'm putting D here. This is where I found my third answer. I'll still read through the other one with colorful leopard print. So this one mentions a weekend bag, fantastic compromise, about the wheels and the handle, and then it talks about colorful leopard print. There's nothing about different colors here at all. On to the fourth one. The manufacturer is confident that this suitcase will last a long time. Now, there are 2 sets of keywords in this question. One is the suitcase lasting a long time. So we're looking for durability here, something that will not get damaged easily, something that is strong. I do remember reading the word strong when I was scanning the passage for some other question. However, the other set of keywords here is that the manufacturer is confident. That means the manufacturer is saying for sure that the suitcase will last a long time. So we're talking about some kind of a guarantee here that the manufacturer is giving. So in this case, we'll keep both sets of keywords in our mind. If we read something about the company which is producing the product or something about the brand saying for sure that the suitcase will last a long time, onto the scanning again. Now this one mentioned strong. So I'm going to read it a little. There's some strong fiber. It is water resistant, but no mention of the company. C again mentions it being incredibly solid. So again, I'm going to read through it a little. A design you can trust. This case is built from super light polycarbonate and it's incredibly solid. Some built-in combination, some security. You can travel with peace of mind. No mention of the manufacturing company. The bag is guaranteed for 30 years. I found my answer. It mentions that it's a fantastic compromise. It doesn't mention anywhere that it is very strong as such, but a guarantee of 30 years clearly says that the manufacturer is confident. This is my answer, and this is where I found the answer. Next one. Items in this suitcase will not be affected if it gets wet. Wet is the keyword that I'm looking for, and I already remember reading something about a suitcase being water resistant, so I'm going to just jump to this one. Water and abrasion resistant. If you are unsure, do scan through the rest of the passage, or as I said, just have some symbol that you need to go back to recheck the answer. Number 6, this suitcase is of a useful medium size. Medium size and useful are my keywords, the main one being medium size. So now I'm looking for size of a suitcase. This one says unusually spacious, so certainly not. This is talking about a very big suitcase. If I look at in B, no mention of size. C, no mention of size. D, nothing. For those who want something in between an annual holiday suitcase and a weekend bag. So this implies that it is a medium suitcase. But since there's no proper mention of the size, I'll still glance through the rest of them. No mention of the size in F and no mention of the size in G either. So clearly, E is my answer. And this is where I found the answer. Last one, Those who want to be reminded of an earlier age of travel will like this suitcase. Earlier age. Some kind of an old-fashioned design, some kind of a classic design maybe. Those are the kind of words we are looking for. Let's start scanning. A mentions sophisticated, but that doesn't exactly mean old-fashioned. B has no such mention, nor does C. D and E don't have any such mention either. Look at G. Goes back to the days. This is where I thought this could be my answer, so I'd start reading it. Travel in style with beautiful suitcase that goes back to the days when trains ran on steam and air travel was leisurely. Clearly this is about olden days. Reading through the rest of it, the leather case part of the streamlined luggage range features roller wheels and a metal frame to hold it in shape. This one is not relevant to our question number 7, but still this is certainly the answer. This is G, and this is where I had found the answer. Now that we have found the answers, let's notice a few things. 1. The name of all the suitcases don't matter to us at all. We don't need to spend any time looking at those names. Secondly, there are certain parts of the text that we haven't read through thoroughly at all. We scan through the text wherever we think we have found a word or a phrase that connects with the keywords that we have identified. That is the part we read. We save on time this way.